Alex, it's been quite a journey from humble beginnings to the church being here.
Yeah, very much so. It was one of those sort of good news, bad news things for me back in the autumn of 2004. My bishop contacted me to say, would you like a move? That's Chafford Hundred. It's sort of, I think it was described as a kind of new village, new development. We weren't quite sure what to call it at the time. It's there. Some land's been acquired by the church to build a church and a community facility. There's no church yet. There's a vicarage for you to live in, and there's a small sort of congregation of enthusiastic spiritual people who started doing something in the vicarage and something in our local school hall on a Sunday morning. Eventually we moved over from Rayleigh in the spring of 2005 to find basically just what we've been told, a vicarage that was used pretty much like a church hall. When I arrived, it had a load of kit from the old Mission to Seafarers in Tilbury, sort of old church hall chairs and children's play equipment and things around the downstairs of the vicarage. And this plot of land was just about had an outer frame on it, but the building project had kind of run out of money, fallen to pieces, political complications, and ground a bit of a halt. So we tried to build on what we had. We continued to run preschool activities and youth activities from home, and build some of the spirituality of the church up through continuing to use the school space on a Sunday. In the end, we just ran out of space, so in a creative moment with a friend over sort of coffee down at the local Starbucks, what are we going to do? Got on the internet and approached a caravan park who were selling off their old stock, and long story cut short, we had a static caravan delivered to the front garden. A friend who's a carpenter took out all the internal walls, and that became both our sort of children's work HQ and our sacred space for the next couple of years, while we sorted out the building project. So everything from midnight mass on Christmas Eve to the Easter Vigil, which began with a bonfire in the garden and moved through to a communion service inside the caravan, that was taking place from there. Eventually we managed to get a number of the right people on board to move this project forward. A chap called Mike, who got a lot of experience building infrastructure for the police and was quite good at sorting out fundraising and all that kind of side of things and dealing with bureaucracy for us. A chap called John, who had got quite a lot of building trade and project management experience, runs his own local electrical business, got involved, together with an ecumenical committee of people from the different churches in the area and some community end users. And eventually we put in for some significant bids to people like Thames Gateway, Development Corporation, Essex Community Foundation, Modite Trust, Clean Away, people like that, who came up with the goods and gave us the ability to do what a number of people had said in the outset wouldn't be possible, which was to have both the sacred and the secular mixing together as freely and as openly as we had. When we started working with architects and that kind of planning stage, some of our funders were a little bit sceptical, so can we pull curtains across? Does a wall hide the church space from the children's play space or the coffee shop or a room where an exercise class might be meeting? What happens if a funeral takes place? All those kind of issues. And my response all the way through was, we work it through. The spiritual needs are as much part of the needs of the community as are the practical needs, the financial needs. At that point, I very much looked at Chafford as a place which had good schools, a doctor's surgery, a dentist, wildlife park, the gym, the library, but it didn't have the sacred space. And I was saying, that's part of the heart of community. People are spiritual beings. We need to make that part of what we do. And I think the biggest joy, if you're sort of talking about a journey's end or the start of the next phase, was we opened for business, so to speak, with a service informally the last weekend in May, and we invited all our end users to come and participate in that service. So church began just as you'd maybe expect a traditional Anglican service to begin. I guess we're sort of Anglo-Catholic in flavour, if people wanting to sort of pigeonhole us a bit. Church began with the announcement that there would be other activities running within the building and the community during the course of the Sunday service. So the kind of slot where you might, say, send children out to Sunday school traditionally, we were able to say, well, there's messy play in this